What is up? We are back. Monday Night Football, Week 2 NFL Showdown. We got the New Orleans Saints, the Vegas Raiders. Probably not the best game in the world to watch football-wise, but hey, it's okay. We had that great Seahawks-Patriots game last night, so we'll just go watch the Saints probably blow out the Raiders tonight, so that's cool. Before I get into all the breakdowns, though, if you're new to this channel, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and turn on the notification bell. All those things really help me out. I've had a lot of growth throughout NASCAR and NBA season, and now NFL's here. I've had some growth throughout that as well. So thank you guys for all your continued support. If you want to get more of my content, you can always go subscribe to my Patreon for only $10 a month. You'll get articles for every single showdown, along with every single or for like the main slates, every single position every week, along with rankings for GPPs and cash, my top stacks, and all my injury notes. So you'll know what to what the importance of every injury. So that when Sunday, when the inactives come out, you'll know what to do. So be sure to go check all that out over there. I'll put the link in the description below. And if you want to follow me on social media, Twitter's at DFSNateLane, Instagram's at NateLane_. Put the link in the description for that as well. You should give me a follow over there, just like talking about sports. So be sure to go check all of that out. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say. Let's get into this breakdown where we will start the quarterbacks, Derek Carr and Drew Brees. So Derek Carr, that's backwards. All right, whatever. Drew Brees is $15,900 and Derek Carr is $13,800. It doesn't really matter. You guys get the gist of it. So Derek Carr at captain, I'm kind of stressed over and over again that I don't really want to play quarterbacks at captain for the most part, because unless like last night, like there's gonna be a few nights of the showdowns of the year where the captain's gonna be the top is gonna be a quarterback. Russell Wilson threw 5 touchdowns to 5 different players. That's not going to happen on often. Receiving touchdowns and rushing touchdowns are worth more in the NFL than passing touchdowns. So outside the guys that are going to throw an elite volume of passing touchdowns, those really aren't. Those are the only quarterbacks I'd really ever want in captain. So Patrick Mahomes types, Russell Wilson types, even though I didn't expect 5 to 5 different players, but yeah, that one. Those type of players. Drew Brees, Derek Carr, they don't really fit that mold. A lot of people will say Drew Brees does, but he really doesn't anymore. So these are two guys that I want to pair with their, honestly, both their running backs and receivers, because we'll get to their running backs later about how they're used in the pass game. But I do want to play these guys. Just I don't think captain's the way to go. But they're definitely guys I want to get to. But we'll get into the matchups. So we got Colton Miller the offensive versus defensive line matchup for the Vegas Raiders is positive matchup for the Raiders. I mean, the Raiders actually have one of the best offensive lines in the league. I don't think that's really something people talk about a lot. Their offense is pretty solid. Then we got the 2 rookie wide receivers, and Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs, and then Hunter Renfrow in the slot are the starting wide receivers. Henry Ruggs is questionable tonight, so I guess we got to wait and see if he's going to play, but I'd assume he's going to play. I haven't heard anything that seems like he won't. The starting corners for the Saints are Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the slot. Overall, that's going to grade out slightly positively for the Raiders. Darren Waller is a tight end going against Caden Ellis, Demario Davis, and Alex Anzalone as the linebackers. It's going to be a positive match for Darren Waller. Darren Waller's like Carr's number 1 target. Then we have safeties, Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams. That's going to be a slightly negative grade for the safeties versus Carr. But overall, it's going to be a positive matchup for Derek Carr. He has a good matchup here against the Saints defense. Their defense isn't as good as I think people give them. People act like the Saints defense is like elite. Like it's good, but it isn't like this elite pass defense or anything. They're solid. They're just a good overall defense. Like the Saints are just good everywhere, but I wouldn't say they're great anywhere on defense except for maybe at Marshawn Lattimore and Cam Jordan and maybe Demario Davis for 1 year. But for the most part, I mean, this isn't like a matchup where I'm scared to play Derek Carr in at all. It's not the Steelers. It's not the 49ers until yesterday. It's not the Bills. So it's not Derek Carr. I'm fine going here too. I like his matchup. Still probably wouldn't want to go there in captain because I just don't think he has the ceiling to really pay off a captain. Up next we have Drew Brees. When we go look at the offense versus defensive line matchup, it is going to be positive for the Saints as well. Not as great as the offensive line for the Raiders, but it's still a positive matchup regardless, like where that's going. The big thing for the Saints this week is Michael Thomas is out. So that means Drew Brees' weapons are very limited. Emmanuel Sanders is going to be the number 1 receiver. Traquan Smith's going to slot into the number 2 guy. And then Deontay Harris looks to be in the slot. Maybe Traquan Smith stays in the slot, but he's still going to be the number 2 targeted guy. So that's going to be tough for Drew Brees not to have his go-to Michael Thomas. The corners for the Raiders are Trayvon Mullen, rookie Damon Arnett, and LaMarcus Joyner. It's going to be a very positive matchup overall for these receivers. The corners in Oakland or Vegas, I'm going to say that all year. The corners in Vegas are not good. So I don't think these guys should have a problem. I mean, yeah, it's not like Michael Thomas would torch these guys. I mean, Emmanuel Sanders is still really good, but I mean, he's not what he used to be. And then Traquan Smith's a good weapon. So I mean, if you're putting any of those guys at captain, I would put I have Drew Brees in the lineup. Same thing with Jared Cook. Jared Cook figures to get more targets without Michael Thomas on the field. He's going to be going up against Nicholas Morrow, Corey Littleton, and Nick Kwiatkowski. It's going to be a positive matchup there. And then Jonathan Abram and Eric Harris are the safeties. It's going to be a positive matchup there. And overall, we have a really positive matchup for Drew Brees. It's just all like outside the defensive line, really, for the Raiders. The rest of that back seven is really not good, especially secondary. So I don't think these receivers should have any problem going against that. And, I forgot to mention this game. The Raiders are 6-point underdogs. It's a 48.5 game total. So this is going to be a high-scoring game that the Raiders are going to be playing from behind. So I do like that for the pass catchers. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say for the quarterbacks. Let's move on to the running backs, where we're going to start with, I think, Josh Jacobs, if it loads ever. Yeah, Josh Jacobs, 14,400 in the captain spot, 9,600 in the flex spot. I like going to Jacobs for both captain and flex because before I talk about the matchup, Jacobs last week saw 25 rushing attempts and 6 targets, so he's getting usage in the passing game. So if you want to put Josh Jacobs as the captain, I don't even hate putting Derek Carr there. I mean, I really don't hate it anyway, but like there's actually correlation there now. You have correlation with Josh Jacobs. Overall, I mean, overall this matchup isn't good. Saints have a good run defense, but like I just don't. I'm not too worried about it. It's just Josh Jacobs is going to get a ton of usage. He's the guy on this offense right now, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think he's going to be game script dependent this year. It looks like we got 6 targets since Carolina last week. I think that's going to be fine. So I definitely like Josh Jacobs as a captain. Other options on the Raiders, Devontae Booker had 4 attempts and 3 targets last week. I mean, if you want to put him in there, that's fine. And Jalen Richard had 1 target. I probably don't want to play any of these guys too much. I mean, they're cheap. I mean, Devontae Booker, 1,800 as a flex, and Richard, 1,400 as a flex. If you're making a ton of lives, you want to take a shot or two on those guys, I mean, yeah, I can see why you would do it. I mean, Richard has upside. He's a good pass-catching option. They're going to be playing from behind. He'll get more usage in the passing game. I think the only reason we saw him only get 1 target last week against Carolina is because they were up the entire game. So, I think he could get some more usage. And I mean, if you want to play Booker, that's fine. I would probably lean more towards Richard because they are probably going to be playing from behind. He'll get some usage in the passing game. Then we go to the Saints where Alvin Kamara, baby, yeah. Alvin Kamara, one of my favorite players in the league overall. So I've just always loved watching him. I think he's just such a good running back. I always want to say he's the best running back in the league, but I just can't put him over like Barkley and McCaffrey. But last week, Alvin Kamara only had 12 attempts on the ground, but he saw 8 targets through the air. Now Michael Thomas is gone, and I think Alvin Kamara is going to get a nice little usage in the target game. I mean, I don't think 8 targets normally would be like what he's going to get every week, but I think now that probably does become the norm because Drew Brees, like the number 1 receiver now is Emmanuel Sanders, who he's never played with before. So like, I mean, he's going to go back to the guys he's played with. So Alvin Kamara and Jared Cook are going to get some more targets. So I think Alvin Kamara is going to be even more used in this game. I mean, yeah, he's the most expensive player, but I want to play him at captain. I want to play him at flex. I want to play him everywhere. He'll probably be my highest owned player tonight. I just think he's in such a great spot. And against this Raiders defense that, I mean, it's a positive matchup. And like I say in all my videos, running back positive matchups don't come off and don't come too much. And this is a very positive one. Raiders defensive line, very good at pass rush, but not a good run stopping unit. And Alvin Kamara is going to get usage in the air and on the ground. So I do like going there. And then I also like going to Latavius Murray. I mean, he saw 15 attempts on the ground last week, 1 target. I'm not really expecting to get any usage in the passing game from him. But if they're going to run him on the ground and just use Alvin Kamara as a receiver half the time, give me all of that. I mean, I'll take Latavius Murray too. I mean, he's not expensive at all. $3,400 is a flex option. I'll take a ton of Latavius Murray. He's got touchdown upside. He gets a lot of usage in the red zone. And I mean, he's just going to run the ball. I mean, we know he's a good running back. Like Latavius Murray could be a starter on a lot of teams in this league. So I don't hate going there at all. I think they're both very, very solid options. Up next, we'll go to the wide receivers, where before they load, we'll talk about, let's just say we're going to talk about Henry Ruggs. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Nelson Aguilar, I forgot about him. God, I forgot he's still in the league. $5,400 at the flex spot. Brian Edwards, $4,800 at the flex spot. Hunter Renfrow, $5,800. Henry Ruggs, $6,800. $10,200 for captain. $8,700 for captain for Renfrow. $7,200 for Edwards. $8,100 for Aguilar. Honestly, I don't really want to. I think the only one that I'm interested in the captain to play here is Henry Ruggs. I think he has just a ton of upside, but for the most part, probably not. I mean, like, the other receivers, I think there's just maybe flex options. If you want to play Hunter Renfrow at captain, I guess it's okay, but still probably not anywhere I'm going to go. The matchup for these receivers, they got Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson as the corners. Overall, Nelson Aguilar grades out negatively. Hunter Renfrow grades out positively. We don't have grades for Edwards or Ruggs yet. Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams are the safeties. Derek Carr is going to grade out positively against all the DBs. We go look at the offensive versus defensive line. We already talked about that, but it's a positive matchup for Raiders and a positive matchup for Saints. Overall, we have positive matchups for every single receiver on this slate today. So we'll go look at the volume. Last week, Nelson Aguilar, he's kind of expensive this week, but he only saw the one target. It was a touchdown. It was a deep touchdown, but it was one target. I don't expect him to all of a sudden become some usage guy. So he's a little expensive for me. I don't really want to get there as much. Bryan Edwards also only saw one target, but he played 95% of snaps. So I'm not too worried about that. I think he'll start getting more usage. This was a guy that in camp was getting a lot of hype. A lot of the beat writers loved him. Started the season as a starter. So I think Bryan Edwards is someone that is going to get more usage. They were just up the whole game against Carolina last time. Now they're going to be playing from behind. And Bryan Edwards is cheaper than Nelson Aguilar. So I think that's a good option to go to. Hunter Renfrow also only saw 2 targets. Even if he gets 7 or 8, which I feel like his floor is probably going to be more 5 a week because they're usually going to be playing from behind, not against, the terrible Panthers. I just think that he just doesn't have that high of a ceiling. He had that one 70-yard touchdown last year. I remember that. But outside of that, he's going to catch the ball and he's going to fall to the ground. He's just not going to have this ceiling, these long catch ceilings. If he gets 10 catches and a touchdown, then he's going to be huge. But only seeing 2 targets from him last week doesn't really encourage me. It looks like he's at least the number 3 option on this team, and I would not be surprised if he ends up being number 4 behind Bryan Edwards as well. In the pass game, that's what I meant. Josh Jacobs is clearly number 1. You can even bump him down farther, but I just don't think Hunter Renfrow is someone I really want to go to captain. I'll probably get a little bit of flex play from him, but he's still not someone I'm that huge on. Henry Ruggs, though, I do like. Saw 5 targets last week, and he got hurt, so he didn't even play the whole game. He has a good matchup, obviously. It's just I think that Henry Ruggs, he has this ceiling, this upside. He's this fast receiver that can get down the field. He's a deep threat, but that's not it. Henry Ruggs isn't just a deep threat. He can catch a ball. He can run a slant route, catch it, and take it to the house. He's just a quick receiver. He's got a lot of skills. So I do like Henry Ruggs here. I think this could be a matchup where he does well, especially playing from behind. So he might be someone to target. It's definitely a captain option. Definitely someone I want some exposure to. Then we'll go to the Saints, where overall it's a positive matchup for them, all of them. You have Deontay Harris is getting to start. So I have Michael Thomas there, but he's out, so we're not playing Michael Thomas, obviously. So Emmanuel Sanders is going to be the number 1 guy. He saw 5 targets last week, but I'm sure that ticks up to probably more around 7 to 8 this week. For his price, he is $8,800 as a flex, $13,200 as a captain. Definitely someone I'm interested in both. I don't hate going to that salary at all. Just because he is going to be the number 1 receiver on this team. The one that I'm a little nervous on is Traquan Smith at $6,400. I know DraftKings priced him up because there's no Michael Thomas. That makes sense, but that's expensive, man. I just don't know. He has never been that productive of a receiver, one target. I know he's only see 1 target. I'm sure that goes up to 4 or 5 this week, but at $6,400, that just feels a lot for Traquan Smith. I know he's number 2 guy now, but the number 2 guy in the Raiders is what, $5,800? It's just a price difference. So I just don't know how expensive I really want to go with Traquan Smith. And like I said, I think Alvin Kamara is probably number 2 or number 1 receiver in this game. I think it's Emmanuel Sanders and Alvin Kamara, and then it's Traquan Smith. So he's still the number 3 option. Alvin Kamara was still the number 2 option with Michael Thomas there. Emmanuel Sanders was the number 3. So, and he saw 5 targets. That's what I'm saying. We're gonna get 5 targets out of Traquan Smith. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So I'm just not too high on that price tag, but he's definitely someone who has upside. He's a big play receiver. He gets usage in the red zone, so that's fine, but still not someone I totally want to go to. And then Deontay Harris, he saw 1 target last week, and I'm sure that takes up a little bit. He's really cheap. I don't hate going there at all. At only $2,400, something like that. Yeah, $2,400. I don't mind taking shots in him. He's value owns up more salary for you. So Deontay Harris is definitely someone I have some interest in, just because as a value play. He's like Bryan Edwards in an extent, or Latavius Murray. Just all these, there's some cheaper guys that I think are valuable taking shots on. When we go look at the tight ends, where there's really only 2 I'm interested in at all. We all know it's going to be Darren Waller and Jared Cook. Darren Waller is number 1 guy in this offense. He has overall, him and Jared Cook have 2 of the best matchups. I think maybe the best overall matchups on the entire slate. Darren Waller's price tag is $7,400 as a flex and $11,100 as a captain. Jared Cook is $8,000 as a flex and $12,000 as a captain. I'm fine going both these guys for captains. Love them in flex spots. We saw 8 targets for Darren Waller last week. I think he's pretty much number 1 receiver on his team. He's number 1 target for Derek Carr here. Hopefully we can get some more touchdown positive regression this year. So I do like him in this spot. I think it's a good matchup for him. Outside Demario Davis, linebackers for the Saints really aren't that good. And I mean, Demario Davis wasn't like elite last week or anything. So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to go Jason Witten's 1 target a game. I just don't like Jason Witten. I don't know why he's still in the league. He's not going to offer you really any sort of ceiling at all. If he gets a touchdown, he gets a touchdown, but I'm not going to try to bank on that. And then Jared Cook, I think he saw 7 targets last week, had a really good game. I think that probably bumps up to like 8 or 9. Like he's going to be. I forgot to mention that the Traquan Smith thing. Like Jared Cook's still going to be ahead of Traquan Smith too. Anyway, Jared Cook, he should probably see like 8 or 9 targets. Honestly, he might be the number 1 guy for Drew Brees. Because like I said, like Drew Brees now without Michael Thomas is going to go to the guys he's used to throwing the ball to, Alvin Kamara and Jared Cook. So Emmanuel Sanders might fall down in the pecking line. It might not be as good of a play, but Jared Cook's still going to get a ton of targets. He's a big body. He's going up against the middle of the Raiders defense, which isn't that great. So I think he's got a great matchup. Looks good for me. But yeah, I think that's really all I got to say on this Showdown slate. Make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, turn on notification bell. All those things really help me grow. Thank you guys for your continued support, and hope you have a great Monday night. Hope you guys have a great night watching this game if you're going to watch this game, or if you're going to watch the NBA playoffs, which honestly is probably what I'm going to watch because that's better. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. Have a great rest of your night.